Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Friday, February the 20th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get in, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. All right, let's get right to the stuff that I did today. And the first one is AXN. Now, AXN came from my best 10 list. Let me just bring this up. The best 10 list, but I have to give a shout out to Matt because he brought it to, this is on my best 10 list. You can see it right there, okay? But at this, when it was here, it was right at the top. And, I had missed it because I was so concentrating on Noodles, NDLS. I was trying to figure out a way to trade that one. And I actually missed it right around here is where I really should have seen it because, again, it made my best 10 list. But a Matt brought it to our attention. I actually traded it. The first time I took it. Now it's hard to see here, but I took it at $1.97, and I sold some at 2.10, and I sold the other part at $1.93 for a 4-cent loss. But I got back into it at 2.08 and sold it at 2.35. So it was a nice trade, and it looks like it's trying to base at $1.99. Now, here's just a word about my best 10. And again, obviously I have more than 10 on here. Originally, when I was doing this, I was trying to find 5 shorts and 5 longs that I considered would be good ones to watch for the next day. Now the list is getting bigger because what I'm doing is I'm taking stocks that have been beaten up. I guess the disaster stocks, the ones that I look for in the morning, the potential reversals, and even if they don't work that day for me, I want to follow them for a while. So for instance, Noodles, NDLS, and Fuel, Fuel, will be on the list on Monday, and I keep adding to that list. So I probably have 5 or 6 or at least 4 days of stocks like that. And then I also add other stocks that I find just in what I would consider my normal evening scan. Now, arguably those stocks would show up in the evening scan anyway, but I tend to keep holding on to them for about at least 3 or 4 days just to see if there's anything that's going to happen with them. Now, somebody asked me, how do I find or what do I do for my evening scan? And it's pretty simple. I mean, this is now it's 2:46 right now, but at 4 o'clock this list will be complete. And so I basically what I do, this is the sum. I'll just show you the summary screen. I'm looking for stocks with at least 400,000 shares traded up or down 5% from the close, with a current volume of at least 2. So there is a normal volume for the stock. And then I sort it on the change from the close. So at the top here, AXN is 68%, and all the way down here, CLRX is down 37%. And then I literally cycle through each one of these stocks. I take a look at the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and even the 5-minute chart because I also want to see where they closed with relation to the high of the day. So the ones that close nearer the high of the day will get a stronger rating for me. And so I basically go down through all these charts or stocks and pick out the ones that I think could be good to watch on the following day. So again, here are the ones. Now, KNN, I'm going to show you, was on the list. Now, AXN was on the list, and I just explained how I traded it. But KNN also was on that list KN was on the list. And you can see here that I took the trade right here when it broke through 19. I also noticed that in the pre-market, KN had been given an upgrade, and so I was interested in that. If you see why it was on the list to begin with, was because if you look at the daily chart, you see here is where we had the collapsing day back here. So this is today, day before. So this is 4 days ago is when it just collapsed. And so there's a gap to fill here. And so, the minute it went through 19, I decided that was good enough for me. So I took the trade right here, 1907, took off half at 1930, and kind of popped out. Now this was a really tough one because it was this I think is about this is 1950. Look at this. This almost got me out, but it happened so quickly. I mean, this tail it was selling off so quickly, and then it recovered so quickly that it kept me in. And then Actually, you know what? I think it moved up first and then down and then back up. So this was just whipping around 1950, and I'd had enough by this time. Popped up and it was coming down, so I actually exited for 50 cents on the second half, and it looks like that was a pretty good exit because it's really doing nothing. Now I'll keep this on the list because if it can break through 1950 on Monday, it might have 50 cents to a dollar in it, but we'll have to see. Now, the other one that was on the list was this one. I don't even, what is I? Intelsat. I was watching this one yesterday. This was one that I traded a little bit yesterday, I think, and well, I do know, and so that's why it made the list again because if you look at the daily chart, got clobbered. It's got clobbered the last 2 days. So, you're looking for a bounce. I mean, so it held yesterday at 1287. Here was at 13, so it was holding the whole number. And so that got me interested in it. And now it didn't work for me. It could have worked for me, but I got shaken out. I actually got into the trade. It's not marked here, but I got into the trade at 1357. Right here, you can see here, in fact, immediately when I got into this trade, it whipped up to 1372, and then the next candle just down, but it was on low volume. So the first candle was on high volume. Here's the volume bar right there. Second candle was on low volume. It kept me in the trade, and even though it went down to 1343, I decided just to keep into the trade, and but then it just was kind of gyrating around, and I exited at 1357, basically my buy. And boy, just another maybe 20 minutes later, it popped up to 1393. But it was a tough one to trade, to be honest with you. But I guess if I just held on just a little bit longer, would have been a great one. NVO, yeah, NVO again, it's not marked up because I just want to show you this one because this came to us in the pre-market, and I actually thought that this could be the sort of the big bio of the day. We have some of these larger or uh, higher priced ones, they just seem to run and run and run. And so I thought maybe this one had a chance. So, here is the pre-market. Here's 8 in the morning. Here's the pre-market. Hits a high and comes back down. Here's where the market opens, starts coming down, and then it starts to consolidate right here. And I know I took the trade at 47.17, and I basically got shaken out. I sold it at 47.17. You see how it just kind of whipped up and down and up and down, and but later on, it really it did finally move up, but it just basically wore me out, and I just thought there were other more interesting ones to look at. We tried to get into Noodles. Some might have got into it, but look how, I mean, here's a pre-market. It's down $8, and this is on a $19 stock. So I mean, this has been just killed. Here's a pre-market, and you see how it rallied all the way up to 2137. I mean, that's an incredible rally, and then it just dropped. And it's just been really a difficult one to try to find, a good trade on it. And kept thinking that maybe if it could break through 20 right there, look how many times it hit right there, but it just keeps coming back. But certainly this has to go on the watch list for Monday because if it can break 20 and then, get some volume behind it, I mean, there's a huge, let's take a look at the daily on this. There's a huge gap. I mean, look at this. Boom. That's what we love to see. Let's see. The next one was TXMD. And TXMD, let me just bring up again the 5-minute chart on it. TXMD was another one from a Matt. He was on a bit of a roll. Was this on my? No, but I think it actually did appear on another screen for me. But he brought it to our attention right about here. And so actually, I think it was more right here. And so when it broke through 5, I actually said I was watching it right here, and it was just sort of getting stuck. There wasn't a lot of action. I actually said in the room, if somebody hits the ask at 507, 507, I'll take it. And so that's exactly what happened. The ask got there were a couple of buys coming in at the ask at 507, and I was one of them. And right after that, it just zoomed up. And I actually got out of the trade. I I missed this. I missed this big spike up, and I thought, oh no, I've, this could be it. And it pulled back down. I held on to it, but then the next time it went up, gee, sorry with the mouse, right up here, I took out half at 524, popped up, and then I took out the other half at 527. So, great percentage play on a $5 stock to get, what was it, 507? So 17 cents and 20 cents on a $5 stock is pretty good. Now, let's see. Whoops. All right, this one, this is turning out to be a really, really nice trade. And this came from my lifetime alert. And let's see if I can find it. TSCO is, we had so many, here we go. TSCO at 87.10. I have so many of these, or here's the first one, 87. Actually, well, I probably got it at 80. 80, well, right here, 87. Again, these lifetime alerts, I'm only interested in them when they hit a whole number, because I figure, if it can pop through the whole number, then I don't have to worry about that whole number anymore. And you can see, I mean, I'm just getting it. It's amazing to me how many stocks are making lifetime highs. Again, there are others that are making lifetime highs, but they're not making them necessarily at the whole number. So just an amazing list, but it's the market that we're in. So I ended up taking the trade right here at 87.13. In fact, I think what happened is that's 87.03. So here's where, no, here's where I would have got the alert, right here at 87. Then you see this bar right there. It dropped down below 87. And I actually said in the room, let's see if it can recapture 87. And the minute it did, and then it looked like, and then we got this green bar, I took the trade at 87.13, and I took half out at 87.30. I was sort of in scalp mode. But because I did that, and this is important for me, and I'm not suggesting everybody do this, but this is the thing that keeps me into a trade. If I can take half out and now I've got profit, well, then I can withstand a little downturn like that. Now, I'll be honest, that almost got me out because I hate to, here's my buy at 87.13 and it just dipped down below it. But I decided to just hang on just for a few more seconds. Certainly if it had broke down through 87, I would have been out of the trade. But it didn't, and now I can hold on because I sold some. I've locked in up here. I've locked in some profit, and now I can let this thing run. And you know what? I may get another high of the day alert at 88, and that would be wonderful. So I'm still in this trade, and again, there's about an hour left in the market to go. Now, the trade that did not work, very frustrating. Oh boy, I may have to get into it. I tried to trade this twice, and it's hard to see. I didn't mark up all of it, but I was in at 27.05. I was out at 26.96. I was back in at 27.06, and then back out at 26.98. And now it's teasing me again. And this just came on a strong stock alert that I've got. It just kept it's just chugging up and up and up. And when it broke through the whole number and looked like it was going to hold, I decided to take it. Now, again, an hour left in the market. I may I may get back into it, but just have to see. In fact, the 27.19, what's the high? The high is 27.20. I think if it breaks through there, I'm going to take it and see if it can run a little bit in the last hour. All right, well, that's it. I encourage you, to make a list, even if it's only 5 stocks, just something to watch, because, and if you organize it like this, one of the things I do is I've color coded it, and maybe this is something I'll do for another video, but I've color coordinated so that this being blue means that it's also above yesterday's high. This is the position in the previous day's range, and it's all green all the way to all the way here. Okay, let me see if I can I don't want to, just one second here. Okay. So you see this green barrel is all the way to the end here. Now, EBIX is almost there. There's just, I don't know if it's going to show up, but there's just a little bit of white here. When it gets right to this bar, that means that it's at yesterday's high. And that means that this EBIX would actually turn blue. I'm actually hoping maybe it'll happen in the next second or something, and you'll actually see it happen live. But this just alerts me. AXN obviously is above yesterday's high, um, but and that's so it kind of gives me an idea about where they are, obviously in relation to yesterday's high, and then I sort it on where they are in relation to today's high. And this is almost at today's high. It's 99.26, so it's like 0.74% below the high of the day. So it's just a wonderful indicator. Gene, look at Gene. Gene was our, the star for quite a while, and it's just collapsing now. So, it's just really simple. You don't have to even put these on charts. I mean, I don't even put them on charts. I just let trade ideas with the way it can be wonderfully visual. It tells me immediately what I'm looking for. So, it's very simple to monitor. All right, well, that's it. I sure hope to see you in the trading room on Monday. And thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.